fighting, boxing, kickboxing. Gotta motivate yourself. Look, in life, mate, in life you've got to motivate yourself, haven't you?
How was school for you growing up? What were your dreams and ambitions as a kid?
I had a fight in a gym, not like a boxing fight. I walked into a gym and I ended up having a fight with these three fellas, and there was a fella in there who got hold of me after it and said, you need to start boxing. I don't look at a fighter and think money. Do you know what I mean? That's the last thing I think. Sometimes I even forget they pay you.
The thing is, like, when you look at it, not every sponsor is worth having because not all money is good money.
When you say not all money is good money, how do you mean by that? Because if a fighter's struggling financially, look, if 50 Cent had no money, 50 Cent, I don't care what you say, is going to be fucking standing in a Donald Trump rally for £1 million.
Today I'm joined by boxer, kickboxer, MMA fighter, coach and promoter John Gillies. How are you?
I'm good, mate. You okay?
So let's get into it with your childhood. What was home life growing up? Was it strict, lenient?
Yeah, it was good. I had a good childhood. Normal childhood, really. Grew up on a council estate in Liverpool, which was good.
That's sick. What about school life? How was school for you growing up?
Yeah, school was good. I love school. Didn't come out with any results, but I had a laugh. It was good.
That's it. What were your dreams and ambitions as a kid? Like, growing up, because I know you used to play semi-pro, or was it pro football as a goalkeeper?
Yeah, I was pro. Played for Everton, Tranmere, Man City. I was a goalkeeper, yeah.
Yeah. So what made you decide, okay, you know what? I'm going to stop playing football and I'm going to change my gloves. I'm going to go from goalkeeper to like 16 ounce.
I had a fight in a gym. Not like a boxing fight. I walked into a gym and I ended up having a fight with these three fellas, and there was a fella in there who got hold of me after it and said, you need to start boxing. And he started taking me on the pads. Jimmy Mack, his name was. And from there, I just got into it. Just started fighting all the time.
From all the combat sports you tried, what's been your favourite and why?
Boxing and K1.
Not MMA, you're not feeling
that? I never really, when I was fighting MMA, it was like 20 years ago. I never wrestled or nothing. I just used to fight strikers, and then it evolved, didn't it? And everyone started wrestling, and I never really wrestled or grappled.
Got you.
So I just like the striking side of fighting.
When it comes to committing you fully to training, what are your top tips? Because it's not something fighters make it look easy now on social media and that, but because it is hard, especially weight cut.
Everyone's a social media fighter, aren't they?
Yeah, but
now it's different. Fighting now is different to fighting years ago. There was no social media years ago. Now everyone's on social media as a fighter, aren't they?
Yeah, but when it comes to committing yourself for a fight camp or training, right?
Yeah.
To get your end goal, what are your top tips for staying focused and being committed to it?
You just got to give it 100% in your training, 100% in commitment, and you've got to best tip back, and if you're gonna go for it, you've got to do it at 100%.
Yeah.
You can't be half-hearted in fighting, because one thing's for sure, you'll get found out.
Right, yeah.
That's my main tip. Give it everything you've got.
How did you stay focused? When life was giving you everything you had and more, like when everything's going wrong for you, how did you decide? No, you know what? I'm gonna stay focused on this fighting thing, and then you slowly built yourself up. But how did you manage to do that?
I just loved it. I love fighting. I always loved to fight. So even if things weren't going right, going and having a fight was like easy. You know what I mean? And I enjoyed doing it. So it was always alright for me to stay on it.
Oh, okay, so it was more like the way you used to cope with everything then.
Yeah, if you enjoy doing something, then no matter what, it's your release, innit? So always enjoyed it.
Do you feel the way that combat sports have developed over time is better than what it was back when you started, where there was hardly any focus on fighters' long-term health and well-being?
Yeah, I think obviously it's evolved now. MMA and combat sports has evolved where there's more, you can see it more and things like that. But I think, I don't know, I still like the old ways. Like, as I say, there's a lot of like social media fighters now, isn't there? And there's a lot of like, people don't take fights now like they used to. A lot of people are looking for padded records now more as well, which there was none of that one like years ago. A fight was a fight. Now you get less and less people taking proper 50-50 fights, unless it's at the top level. But I think coming through from like the start, people need to take better fights more.
Yeah, but you know, in terms of how fighters are looked after now, like there's more focus on their health, their well-being. There's more rules, regulations, laws. Do you think it's better for them in the long run? Like there's more emphasis on that person as an individual and how he'll be when he's older than when you were first coming up.
Yeah, there was none of that when I was fighting. There was just, you were in the gym, you trained, you went and had a fight, and that was it. And you come back, you get back in the gym, and you go and fight again. Do you know what I mean?
But don't you think it's kind of killed like people to when it comes to training? Because don't you get some people that come in and be like, or parents to like kids that you coach and be like, nah, don't you think that's a bit excessive?
With the parents coming in the gym.
Yeah, because now they in their head, they're looking at it from what the media would say, no, this is too much, this is too little. And they're basing training off of that, and they've never trained in their life. Don't you think it's made it harder for you in that sense, or it's worse? Because now it's like there's too much health and safety for it to actually make sense.
Yeah. I'd say the thing about the parents. Did you say about parents then, didn't you?
Yeah.
Too many parents do try and get involved. Like, we don't allow them in the gym. We tell them to wait outside. Because they do try and get involved a lot. That's one thing that does me head in with.
Backseat coaching.
Oh, mate, am I allowed to swear? It pisses me off. They've never done a thing in their life, and then all of a sudden they're shouting to the kids what to do. So, like, we make them sit outside. They're not allowed in the gym in here. And another thing, filming the kids. As soon as the kids start hitting pads, they pull the phone out. That pisses me off majorly. So we've banned them all now from our gym, all the parents.
So, what are your top tips for recovery? During camp, after fight, and long run?
Yeah, rest is the biggest recovery, I'd say. Getting good rest, good food, good rest. Just looking after yourself, mate, not overdoing it. Sometimes proper fighters will overtrain. And as a coach, you'd have to pull them back a bit. Do you know what I mean?
But what's the signs of them overtraining? Because like a lot of these, like, I couldn't tell. They look like machines anyway. So when they're going hard,
I just know I can leave a fighter and he'll go home, and then when he comes back into it, pads the next day, if he's just, I know where he should be at, and I can tell if the power's not there or if he's like a bit flat. I know he's either he's overtrained. So you just know. As a coach, you'll always know. A proper coach will always know anyway. You know what I mean?
Sure. So you know, when it comes to coaching, it comes to you designing custom workouts, diet plans for your clients, your students. What's the key things you have to keep in mind?
Everyone's different. Everyone's different. As in, clients and that, I don't, like as I say, I only train fighters, don't I? So, yeah, everyone's different. You have to train at heavyweight different than you'll train a lighter weight and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so stuff like when you're designing the meal plans, you think about allergies or...
Yeah, but there's a lot of nutritionists now, do you know what I mean? Nutritionalists, so I'll probably, like with a fighter, I'll let them go and speak to... One thing about me, I'm not a nutritionalist. I can give you a diet, but there's a lot of good nutritionalists now to get the weight down properly, so I just leave it to them, to be honest.
So you just focus mainly on their striking, grappling and everything else?
Yeah, striking, just As I say, I'll do your camp, I'll do all your fighting training, and I'll bring someone in with nutritional advice
Yeah.
for that specific person. Because some fighters like different foods, some, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you know when you're in your fighter's corner now, when they're actually having their fight, or even when they're sparring, how do you block out all the other noise, man? Like
Like,
especially say Andy, right? You know on his last fight in 2014, his retirement fight before he came back on one championship.
yeah,
I was there. I was on one of the tables at the back with a few other geezers. The whole table was out. All I could hear at the back was people just say, "Andy, fuck him up, do this, do that. Andy, knock him out, elbow him, kick him, knee him, punch him." Just like 3, 4 random girls at the back. And then I turned around. Then the fellas started. I thought to myself, shit, I should have just stayed looking at it.
yeah.
You know, so how do you block out? How do you block out all that stuff and just stay focused on that one fighter and the opponent?
It's easy, you know. It's
I know I'm
easy.
gonna need help real soon.
It's a bit like blocking knees out now, isn't it? You just switch off to it. It's easy. I don't know. It's easy. Like I've done I've done corners in the UFC and one championship in Bellator. Like I've done all of them. I've done like crowds of 50 people to crowds of 80,000 people in the boxing. So you just don't. You just don't. I don't know. I just block it out. You just concentrate on the fight. That's the main thing, innit?
True. I guess it's just something you built up over time.
Yeah, it's
Every coach I ask, they
It's
say the same
experience,
thing,
innit?
man.
Being there and.
I,
Do you want to get on?
so, what are your top tips for keeping your fighters motivated? You know, when times are hard and
Well,
life's
often
getting to them.
I shouldn't have to motivate you. No, I should. But if you're fighting, you should be motivated yourself. That's my opinion. And if you're not motivated, obviously some days you come in, you're gonna be tired, aren't you? And you need a
Not
little.
even tired, like, you know, when you got personal problems and there's a lot going on home, outside, or say even financial problems, because a lot of fighters are broke their whole career.
Yeah.
They have some of the best fights ever,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
but it's you can call it modern day slavery, you know, being a pro fighter for a lot of these lot. Because what they do versus what they get.
Yeah, it's hard. But you still should be motivated because at the end of the day, someone else is coming. The way I look at it, someone else is coming in there to do your damage. You've got to be motivated. You've got to be. You can't fight no matter what sport it's in and not be motivated. Some days you can't be asked. I used to wake up and go training, and some days you couldn't be asked. But then, in all honesty, you haven't really got an option. That's my opinion. I'm sometimes a bit, like Mick will tell you, I'm probably a bit too harsh sometimes on people. Would you say, Mick?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, but sometimes they need it as well, so.
Yeah, whereas like,
So it's basically tell them to suck it up and just stay focused
well, yeah.
on it.
Look, sometimes you've got to hold people's hand, haven't you? Sometimes you've got to just fucking give them a boot up the arse. So you got to know at times when's right and when's not. Do you know what I mean? But
I hear that.
like my two coaches I've ever had in my life, there's Mick there, my boxing coach, and then I have my kickboxing coach who's still in the gym with me now since I was a kid. They both had different ways of doing things. Mick would kick you up the arse. Ozzy would kick you up the arse, but he'd hold your hand first. And if you weren't, like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? So, I'll help you motivate you. Sometimes if you're a bit flat, you're a bit tired, come on mate, blah, blah, blah. But if it's like a persistent thing where you're just not motivating yourself week in, week out, then you're going to get bollocked. And if you don't like it, go somewhere else, innit?
Yeah, because you don't want to waste your time or theirs. Because
Well,
a career's a lot shorter than it looks.
Yeah, and you know, if you've got like in here, how many fights have we got here, Mick?
All in all.
Yeah,
I counted at least 10.
yeah. We've
What,
got,
like
got
pro fighters or Amis as well?
Well, to be honest, mate, in here we're like, we've got like obviously we've got world champions in different combat sports, and we've got top level MMA fighters, but we've got young kids who are coming through who are amateur, and they get treated the same as the fucking we think the same of them as we do the top lads. It's not like you go, oh, he's on a pedestal.
From what I see on Instagram, Andy tries to get you back every time. Like he's patting you.
Yeah, he always tries to get me back to fight.
He always catches you
Andy.
lying on the floor for a
Yeah,
video.
oh, because when I'm on the floor, goosed. Yeah. But like the main, we'll treat a kid the same who's just coming in, he's boxing amateur as we would the pros. That's so you can't like if one's not, if you've got one fighter and he's not motivated and you keep trying to motivate him, you know, you've got to give your time to all the other fighters as well. So you can't just keep going back to him and motivate. No, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it's not fair on you, not fair on everyone else.
It's not fair on everyone else.
Because he's
is it?
wasting everyone's time, or
If
she's
you're
wasting
putting all your
everyone's time.
time into one person just to get him motivated, then yeah, it's not going to happen with me. Like, obviously, I give you a little, give you
Yeah.
the time, but for the little things like motivation, mate, I think personally yourself, you've
At some point, you're gonna have to just cut your losses with the person.
yeah, but you in fighting, boxing, kickboxing, you got to motivate yourself. Look, in life, mate, in life you've got to motivate yourself, haven't you?
True.
No one's going to do anything for you, so I'm a bit harsh though. Mick, he's laughing, look, he thinks I'm harsh, but probably I'm a bit harsh.
Yeah, man, you're a top guy. So, how did you bounce back from all this COVID crap? Because your gym was closed, what, 3 months, maybe a
Yeah.
bit longer?
We never opened our doors, did we, Mick? Not once. Yeah. COVID bollocks, innit? Do you know what, mate, to be honest, we just opened. I'm not going to say we done this, we done that. We just opened and everyone just came back.
No, but that, at least now you definitely know. That solidifies that you're a proper coach, proper gym, proper fighters.
Everyone that we had,
It's back to routine.
not one person never came back, so we just opened. And when we were closed, I was getting phone call. When we open, everyone was itching to get back, and then we just opened the door and everyone came back.
Because I know there's still clubs out here now that are looking like a ghost town when you walk in.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be, because this lockdown's been over for time.
Oh, mate. What a load of bollocks, eh?
Right, so, let's move on to you as a promoter and the promotions. What made you get into creating and running your own MMA promotions, as well as being a part of MTK Global MMA Promotions?
Just because I wanted to give lads a platform to fight on with a decent production.
So
Yeah.
where there's no politics, because like a lot of,
Mate, do you know what? Politics.
like a lot of judges are also promoters, and same with coaches. So if their fighters losing, but it's a split decision, they won.
Yeah, there's too much politics in MMA. Like,
Yeah, but
it's madness.
it's with all combat sports. This is what I always say, bro. Knockout or submission, because at that point you can't dispute it.
I think, but MMA needs to take a leaf out of boxing's books, because obviously I'm involved in boxing. I'll take kids from here sparring to a gym, boxing sparring.
Yeah.
If a fight comes up, our kid's going to fight someone from that gym. In MMA, you offer someone a fight and they go, oh no, we won't fight anyone out of that gym. Oh, we won't fight no one in, like, fuck's sake, just fight. Do you know what I mean? It's like I try and match make this, oh, one of our lads goes there sparring, so we're not going to fight anyone out of that gym. Well, one of their coaches has been, what's that mean? It means nothing.
But I get that, but don't you think it's better for the fighter long term? Like, look, some of the best fighters out there have the shittest records. Because like you call them, say you want to fight, they go, yep. They'll
That's
go
what
for
I used
it.
to be like. I used to just fight anyone. At,
But
like,
then
a
if you
week's
look at it
notice.
from a business thing, like would anyone care about Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, or say Michael Venom Page, for example, and MVP? When he needs Cyborg and he
Yeah.
cracked his head, everyone just went mad over it, not remembering that Cyborg has how much MMA miles on his body, the fact that he ran into it. So it's not as impressive as, because all the momentum's going for it. So cool, he's cracked his skull now. And there was a massive hype behind him for Bellator, and they remember when he lost because he couldn't eat a leg kick.
Yeah.
Have you seen the hype for
Yeah,
him now? It's all the way down. But now that as a brand, he's not going to sell as much. Maybe he's not selling as many tickets. Maybe he can't get as much as a fight now because the hype's gone.
So it's all a myth, innit?
So don't you think that's why? I think a lot of coaches are scared because of the brand they're trying to create with.
That's what's ruining it though. Because if you've got a fighter and you're scared to put him in a fight, but you want to build his brand, and obviously guide a fighter, get him the right fight, but make it proper fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, something
Where
you can
think,
learn
yeah,
from.
well, you know what? That fight's 60-40 for us.
Yeah.
He should win. Yet that next fight is a tough fight. It's a 50-50 fight. Then you know the kid's good. No, he's going to fall over. He's going to fall over. Like in boxing, you get journeyman now. A journeyman in boxing is totally different to a journeyman in MMA. Journeyman in boxing are tough people, yeah. They're skilled, it's a skill. A journeyman in MMA will take half a jab on the glove and fall over like he's being shot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which to me, it just ruins it. It ruins it. And then they get up and start laughing and all that, and that burns my head out. I fucking hate them. I'm not gonna
Bob
lie.
Sapp, even though it's not MMA, it's more like K1, innit? That's a good example. Have you
Yeah.
seen Bob Sapp towards the end of his career?
I hate it, me. I hate it. Like, I hate it. They ruin the sport. Like, they go in, they take half a shot, they fall over, they get up, they start laughing. To me, it's like, we've had a few, when you get pull-outs in MMA as well, which is another thing now, where there's like, the week up to our shows, you're getting 9 or 10 pull-outs the week of your fight. How are you pulling out the week of your fight? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Training's all done, and you should be ready to fight. How can you get injured the week of your fight? You're not sparring, but yet you get so many pull-outs. Then you have to bring these people in last minute, and they fucking burn my head out, mate. I'm not gonna lie.
I get that, but don't you think it's again it goes into the way the fighters treated because they're like cattle. Fighters as a whole, because if they don't have a really good record, right? The hype's gone from them. The brands don't want to go near them, right? They don't get paid well enough for it
Yeah,
to
but
make
then-
sense not to do the numbers game.
But then you can't build someone's record. For me,
Yeah.
you've got absolutely no chance of me building someone's record on them flattening tin cans. If I'm your coach and we were going to do it properly, I'm not going to get you 12 fights of just absolutely folding someone who's not trying to fight with you. Because I'm not about that, me. You'll get coaches who want that. You see them now. Coaches who I know who everyone respects, and I'm trying to match people on the shows. Erico, and he's a proper fighter here, look.
Yeah.
Our coach, MMA coach Eric.
Well, when you're good.
So, getting back to the building fighters up. Build them up, I get that. But build them up in the right way.
Yeah.
It's like getting someone to fight. You're fighting tin cans all the way through. And then you throw them in for a proper fight. They're going to get hurt, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
That's true, but you see it all the time. Like, I personally think McGregor takes some easy fights as well. I don't think he goes in there and goes, right, you know what? I'm going to take this one because it might be hard. He took the Khabib one and the Mayweather one, even though he knew he was going to lose because the money was too good for it.
Yeah.
And the whole promo and everything, you know what I mean? And then if you look at it, how I made his whiskey brand off of his MMA, like he's used it as a good platform. He's a smart businessman, but would he be able to do the same stuff if he was a proper fighter?
You can't say he's not though, can you? He's beat Nate Diaz. He's beat fucking Jose Aldo. He's beat Dustin Poirier. Obviously beat Cerrone. He has beat some good fighters.
Yeah, I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
You're saying, he's
but now it's more. Now if I had to class him, I'll say he's a businessman. I wouldn't say he's a fighter now.
Yeah, no, he's a businessman.
Because I think with Khabib's fight, he gave up. I don't think Khabib won it. I think McGregor just took a beating. Was like, gave up.
To get where he's got though. To get where McGregor's got, you can't say he's not a proper fighter, can you? Because he's fucking beat loads, and what he's done, he beat loads on Cage Warriors, decent fights, and to beat Nate Diaz, to beat Poirier, whatever, to beat fucking Jose Aldo. You got to be a proper fighter, haven't you?
True, you gotta give him that.
Not like half these stufferheads now who are just like beating fucking someone who's laughing when he gets up off the floor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think you can put McGregor in that bracket.
No, what about now though? Not originally when he was hungry and he was coming
Yeah,
up.
probably now, mate. He's worth what, 150 mil, innit? So the desire to get up and go and get battered in the gym every day when you know you've got 150 mil in your bank, it's probably a bit. It's like you come up here this morning. What time did you leave your house?
3:30
You
a.m.
left at 3:30 a.m. If you had 100 mil in your bank, would you leave at 3:30 a.m?
Yeah, because I'm actually coming from nothing. So
Yeah.
whatever I do, whatever I invest, whatever I try and help, whatever I've accomplished is from nothing.
From
So
nothing,
that hunger's always going to be there for man. But then again, I ain't got to his money, so I can't say that.
Yeah.
But I know I like to believe that the hunger will still be there. I'll still be starving in my mind. I'll be like, nah, I gotta get up. I gotta grind now. If I don't do it, I can't fall back on anyone. Because
Yeah.
even now, I struggle to build a team in anything I do. I really struggle. Like, you know, to find people that I don't care if you're the best at your field, long as you're decent, but the hunger's there, because then you'll improve over
Yeah.
time. You'll put it in yourself. My days, you know how hard that is. Man.
Yeah, it's like everything, mate. It's hard, isn't it? So I open like with the gym, mate. You open a gym with no people.
I
know
don't
what
think
I
you
mean?
have that problem.
So then to get to where you get.
Two people come to this gym before you came today.
Nah, I opened this gym with like with no one. Obviously, I've been coaching for a while before that and that. So everyone came, but you still when you start something in it, it's daunting, innit? You just go for it.
Alright, so you know, as a promoter, what have been the biggest challenges you faced, and how did you overcome them? Like, you know, the last minute pullouts.
Oh, mate, I've never known. Look, it's like I've never known anything like pullouts for them British MMA. I'm
Yeah.
telling you that now. It's just, you automatically know. It's like the week of the fight, you're getting like, say you got a card and you've got 20 fights on the show, yeah. The week up to that, you're looking like 8, 9, 10 of them are pulling out. It's just how it is. It's just
So how do you fill it up that quick? Because when I go to shows, I can't tell. Like, I'll tell there's like a one-off fight that, you know, they couldn't match up again. But like, they advertise 20, but they put on 18 on the day. How do you cover them last minute slots?
you just put more on really than what you advertise. That's what. And you'd have people ready in the background. It's just that's the downside of it, mate. If you ask me.
So, you know, if you got reserves, do they get paid whether they fight or not? Because they're going to have to do a camp regardless.
They just get on. We just have more fights on. Look, there's absolutely no chance you can put a show on, MMA show in this country, and not expect 5, 6 pullouts. It just happens. It's just the cards change all the time, mate. It's just like, and I get it. It's tough. The training's tough, but also some of the pullouts you're like, really.
I think a lot of them are just politics. I don't actually think there's anything else.
No,
So
yeah.
if you're good the whole camp and then on the day you can't.
I'll have that. There is politics, but I'll have it that. Look, social media has absolutely ruined the fight game, if you ask me. Because if you go on social media, everyone's an MMA fighter, aren't they? But no one wants to really fight, do they?
Yeah, they'll get good on pads. They'll get good at like
And,
certain spars, like light sparring, look impressive, but they won't actually fight. I get that.
Yeah, so that's what's ruining it for me. Like, whereas years ago when I like, well, not just when everyone's fighting, there weren't no social media.
But don't you think it helps sell tickets now and everything else? Because a lot of fighters get paid off ticket sales as well.
Yeah, but it does, yeah. But at the same time, that ruins the sport. If you ask me, I see it in here. Like, people come in and before they hit a pad, they're setting cameras up, aren't they, mate? And you're like,
Yeah, but it comes with the job. The
You're
podcasting.
different, you're a podcaster. I don't mean you. I mean like anyone. Just
I walked in, I go,
Yeah.
bro, where can I set up?
No, you're different, innit? I mean, like, just people in
I
general.
walked into that one. I walked into.
Like fighters in general come.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? I don't mean you, obviously. But yeah, the thing with social media, for me, it is good. It is a good thing to build stuff up and stuff if you use it right. But at the same time, mate, you've got fighters now. I get them coming in here, or I get them messaging you, like, and you just think, wow, it's like just saying and fight, mate. Not like, or they'll post, they'll do this, they'll put, and then you know they're pulling out. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, one thing I'll say, you know, when you actually look at people padding and they're good at pads, you don't want to hold a shot from them, but a lot of them can't do the same when they're fighting. Have you noticed that?
Padman.
Yeah, no, a lot of people that actually are good at throwing shots on pads and go sick combos. They can't actually do that in real life. I've noticed that.
I know. I try and, like, the thing with pad work, you watch, some people are doing some crazy shit on the pads where you just think, there's absolutely no chance of that working in a fight. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, even the same power, the same level of technique, like, you know, when they're fresh in the fight.
Oh yeah.
I see them and say, I don't understand why they can't do it. I thought by now muscle memory, when you throw a hook, you would have twisted into it, right? Okay, look, you could have set up this combo that you were doing before. How come you're not setting it up? But the geezer's eating all the shots for you to set it up.
Yeah. It's different when you're in there though, isn't it, mate? Sparring, fighting's different to pads. So I like to do like live drills, me, more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you'll get someone who's a boss pad man, but not a good coach. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, rare breed, man. You can fight and you can coach.
Yeah.
A lot of coaches are either coaches or they're just fighters. A few are a rare breed that can do both. You know, when you're matching up fighters, what's the key things to remember? Because you can't always get it like exactly the same on reach, height, experience, and every other factor. So what do you give in exchange for what?
Like,
You know?
our matchmaker, for me, I always tell him to match striker v striker, look for exciting fights, you know what I mean? Styles that go well together. And obviously I like people to have around the same experience, so it's just not a whitewash. But as I say, in MMA now, it's hard to get that.
Yeah, but you know, when you're looking at the stats, like, it'll be height, age, reach, style, experience. Now, let's just say in a perfect world, it's all perfect on each end, mirror to mirror. But when you can't get that, what do you think is better to give up? Like, do you think it's better to get a less experienced fighter, but he's got the reach advantage, he's got, say, style advantage, if you prefer the style, if he's got height advantage, you know, durability, like stamina and everything else is better, but he's lacking experience. Do you think that's better, or do you think it's more important to match it on the experience because experience pulls up?
You could be like to me now. I'd be well more experienced than some. Do you know what I mean? But you get an up and coming kid who's really, really good, fresher. He's more hungry. He's got a lot more. Do you know what I mean? He's more durable, and sometimes experience is good, yeah, if you still got it. But you could be super experienced, but you haven't got it no more. So it can be all different things, can't it? Do you know what I mean? You could have experience, but you couldn't be. You might be not really in it anymore, but you're just still fighting just for a certain reason. So it's all different.
Got you. Alright, so, you know, I said this before, but how, as a promoter, bounce back from COVID? Because now it's pay-per-views, but isn't pay-per-views less money? Because I might buy the pay-per-view, and if I'm cool with everyone in the gym, I'm going to say, all of you come over to mine. So now, how many tickets did you lose out on?
Well, to be honest, mate, we were due to have our show today, weren't we? And 10 days before the show was due, the council contacted the venue and said we couldn't do it, which is a proper kick in the balls. Like, we had the show matched and everyone was ready and training, all the lads were ready to fight. So we struggled there, and we were putting that on just to get, basically, although it was pay-per-view, we knew we're not going to make nothing out of this, we're going to lose money. But we wanted to put it on for the lads in the gym who were training, but even that, then last minute, the council Liverpool Council contacting the venue and just saying, look, we're not ready for this yet. We're not up for it. Maybe you could go again in October. So it's been a struggle, mate. It really has. It's been hard up to now to get it going again.
So do you think it's something where promoters gonna have to do something else, like turn content creator, for example? Like, you know how they do live workouts just before a fight?
Yeah.
You maybe just make cool videos, put it on YouTube, and then somehow do a profit split on the ad revenue of it, because you can't stop as a promoter, because if the hype's dead on your promotion, when you come back, it's going to be hard to sell them tickets.
Yeah. But everyone's in the same boat, aren't they? Apart from the UFC, obviously. Bellator is starting back up now. You can't compete with the likes of them, can you? The UFC and stuff. It's hard, so I don't know. For us, the only way we can crack on is by putting shows on. I can't see any other way of Probellum doing anything else.
But what about, like, you know, say now this is all go on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and so on.
Yeah.
So when it starts to generate income per episode, wouldn't you rather just create content and then just split it? So say if you into the amount of fighters you got here and top level coaches, world champs, if you just sat down there, interview with them, put it on YouTube, promoted it, and just split the ad revenue, do you think that's something that promoters should do now until they can come back, just to keep the hype rolling on their promotions?
I don't
Because
know.
you need to be consistent in something, so you know when you come back you want to sell out in tickets straight away.
Yeah, maybe I'd say, like, obviously you do your trailers and your stuff and try and keep the interest that way, fight clips and putting old fights out there for people to watch and stuff like that. Interviews and stuff, would it sell, mate? Would anyone? Do you
It's
know what I
over
mean?
time. It's like you build a platform, so it's based on ad revenue with a lot of platforms.
Yeah.
So you put it out. In so many views, you might get this many ads. Each ad is going to pay you this amount.
Yeah.
And say now if I did one with you, and then I'll go, okay, well, this one on net is say a few grand from it. We split it. Because
Yeah.
if it wasn't for you, I couldn't have done this.
Yeah, yeah. I get
So
you.
was that something as a promoter you think you'll do with the fighters?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
even as a coach? Because again, the amount you got in this gym is like a
Yeah,
gold
we've
mine.
We've got some good. To be honest, mate, all the, like I say, I'm like a caveman, me. I've got no Facebook. I have an Instagram. So I don't really get the whole how it works. You know, the podcast, the social media, the YouTube and all that. So I don't know. That's not really my thing. I wouldn't know. But would it work? Yeah, probably would.
I personally think fighters are the most underappreciated in any industry.
Yeah, 100%.
Because
100%.
fighters and coaches make up the industry. Like, you can get away with not having a promotion
Yeah.
and still be able to make a living out of it. But in terms of how they're treated, how they're paid, how they're seen, it's like they're just seen as cattle.
Yeah.
You know, just brought and sold. So I'm trying to find ways of fixing that, but
Fixing it, yeah.
that's hard. Alright, so let's move on to some business questions. What are your top tips for networking? Because again, from a martial arts standpoint as a whole, the amount you have, it's like either you got a natural gift or you got some secret or something.
Do you know what, mate? I wouldn't say I network. I'm not one for networking, me. It's I can't, like, I don't look at people with an ulterior motive where I think, oh, I could speak to him, I'll get this out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just, mate, I'd just say, if you're in the gym and you're doing the right things and people are winning, then that's how the gym gets busy. So networking for me is not really. Mick's a networker, aren't you, Mick? Yeah. Networks all over the gaff. He's a
Yeah, you're lucky
networker.
you have one person in this gym for everything, bro.
No, do you know what it is? It's not thinking you're like.
I swear I'm gonna find some film producer in this gym if I go in the back.
Yeah, I don't. Look, this gym, mate, is not just about me coaching. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got Mick here. Mick's from one of the best boxing coach I've ever worked with in my life. I've got my kickboxing coach. I've got Andy Housen here coaching. I've got Eric coaching. our MMA coach, like, everyone who's coaching in here has got loads of experience, like loads. Mate, I found them through, I've been mates with them all for years. Like, Mick was my coach, Ozzy was my coach, me and Eric have been mates for years. Andy Howson's been my mate for years. We were fighting on the circuit together years ago. I had Vinnie Shawman coming in, doing mine coaching with fighters. I've knew Vinnie for fucking hell, 20 odd years. Yeah.
So it's just natural
it's
progression, because
yeah.
whoever they're bringing up, they'll end up introducing to you. So you're just at this point now where
Yeah, I like to work with people who know me,
yeah.
that I know are decent. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so everything's organic, and you don't have to
Yeah.
sit there and think to yourself, right, it's good to be with this person, but I can't introduce him to this person, that person, so I can't have them around me. So
Yeah. Like,
'cause I
someone
get
could
that
be-
problem a lot.
Someone could be unbelievable at what they do,
yeah,
but
they're a piece of shit as a person.
yeah, and I just think, fuck you, mate. I'm not having you around me, no matter what. You could be coming here bringing me the best of whatever I needed, but if you were a knob, I couldn't, like, I'd rather you not be here no matter what. Do you know what I mean? And that's how we are in here. It's not just me like that. Everyone else, everyone's on the same. Like, people always say to me, oh, four corners and what you're doing with, mate, it's not just me here. It's like, there's different parts of the wheel here. That's all doing it. Do you know what I mean?
I get that. The best thing is that you're not financially motivated from here.
Nah.
It's just something you really enjoy. I think that's why it works so well.
Mate, if all you're thinking about is money, yeah. Like, I don't look at a fighter and think money. Do you know what I mean? That's probably, it's at least, that's the last thing I think. Sometimes I even forget they pay you. I'm like, whatever, mate, if you need it, keep it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, no. I look at a fighter and think, yeah, you can do something. You can, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're motivated by the money side of it, in my opinion, you're not gonna go anywhere. Maybe you're gonna earn your money, but you're not gonna achieve what you want to achieve as a coach. Do you know what I mean?
No, I get that. So
I look at it like money for them.
yeah.
I want to get them money. As
yeah.
a coach, are you ever gonna make money?
I get that, but how do you decide a fighter's worth? Like, you know, because I've seen MMA fighters fight for 150 a fight,
Yeah.
150 quid. Way too little, because you have to divide that over 3 months, so that's 50 quid, because that's pretty much the shortest camp you're going to
I
have,
used to
3
fight
months.
for nothing. Used to fight for nothing because I love fighting.
Yeah, but doesn't that then make it like, oh, we need a fighter? Yo, this geezer will do it for free. Didn't you have that
I
problem?
never used to fight for free, as in, like, I used to just like fighting, so I'd fight, but getting the weight, obviously, now I want to see fighters earn money who are trained. There's difference, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know when they sign to promotions, right, and you decide, oh, no, my fighter's getting this or more, we're not doing it. How do you decide how much the fighter's worth? Because there's a lot of fighters that aren't champions that should get paid more than the champions.
Don't know about that myself, because if you're a champion, you should get paid like a champion no matter what. That's my opinion. Can you say you deserve more than a champion if you're not a champion? Really? Can you say that?
Yeah, because again, it's who you get matched with. If you're never in a title fight, you never had the chance to win it, but how many fighters you see that you believe could take out the champion, the current champion at that time, but they won't get the chance?
I still don't agree with the fact that if you're a champion, you are a champion. You know what I mean? No matter what. So you should get paid the most.
Okay, but then, fair point, but when you're deciding the value of a fighter, how do you figure it out? Like,
You just...
or do you just go with whatever the promotion's
One
gonna say?
thing about, like, sometimes a fight's got to make sense on it. Now, you could have a kid who needs to win a fight, which is a winnable fight, to then fight for big money. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So they could come and say, like, there's a fight there, $2,000, and you think, but if he wins that, he's fighting for this, which could be $40,000.
Yeah.
So if you're like, well, we're gonna win that, I know we are, then you take it to get the do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes you can, you just gotta be clever with it. You gotta look at the end goal, haven't you?
True.
Do you know what I mean? It can't be like, nah, we don't want that fight, I want this. Like sometimes people shoot themselves in the foot, they'll go, no, I want more than that, but they're not looking at what's to come off that.
They're not looking at the long-term prospect from it. They're just thinking right now, what's the most financially beneficial, and not realizing they're shortening their own career because people don't want to work with them now.
Yeah, well, like, for me, life in general is about, like, it's not what you're going to do right this second. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me with the lads, it's like, if a fight comes up, if I've got young kids coming through, obviously, like, with the, you want to pick the right fights for them. You know, you want to bring them through and get them in good positions. But, like, I'm going to say, for example, Jamie Bates, who I coach, you know, Jamie Bates fights on Glory. He fights K1 on Glory. We went to Holland to fight Gregorian. Jamie went over there as a massive underdog. They expected him to get flattened, and he went over and schooled Gregorian, who was like number 2 in the world, number 2 on Glory. After that, that put Jamie to number 3, I think now he is in Glory. They've just offered him a fight against the kid who's number 13. Now that doesn't make sense, does it? So if they offered him that fight for 10 grand, which is more than what he's getting, would you fight for 10 grand against the number 13, or would you wait and then fight the number 2 for 7 grand, knowing you're gonna fight for the title after that for 100 grand? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, wait for a title, but...
So you can't just think, oh, there's 10 grand, I'm gonna take that, because that doesn't make any sense. Because with fighting, you want to end goal, don't you? You want to be a champion, don't you, mate? You're not in it just to... Don't get me wrong, sometimes if you think he's not going to be a champion, this kid, there's a fight for 20 grand, take the money, mate. You're never going to earn that money again, it's different. So the situations are always different, do you know what I mean?
So you have to weigh up everything that's going on at the time.
Weigh up everything. Like for instance, who can I say? Scope's got a fight now on Bellator. He wins this, which is, you know, then he's back up there. Then you're looking at decent money for him, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all situations are always different.
So, do you read books by any chance? If so, what are your top 5 books to read?
Mate, you know what? I've actually never read a book in my life.
Nah, you must have read at least one, bro.
Never.
Not even in school. Like, even I had to read Mice and Men.
I was just going to say, yeah, in school, of Mice and Men. That was the only book I've ever... But I didn't read it. I just remember it being in school, yeah.
But is it... So you never had an interest in reading books, or you have...
No.
So no?
No. I don't think I've ever read a book. I'd read Mick's book if he read a book. If you read a book, I'd
there's
read
some
it,
really good books out there, like some really interesting stories in there. Right, and...
Mate, I haven't got the time to read a book, and
That's true, bro.
I haven't got the patience. Like, I'm always on the go.
Fair play. So, you know, in terms of building teams, right? Yeah. Especially for camps, or do you not bother with who's the nutritionist for this guy, or who's the sponsors, or do you leave that to the fighter and you just focus on the fight?
No, I always try and help the lads get sponsors, you know what I mean? I'll always try and help, and I help with the food side of stuff, and but obviously they get their own, don't they, as well? They get their own sponsorships, and some of them have their own management team who help them and stuff like that.
Because the thing is, like, when you look at it, not every sponsor is worth having, because not all money is good money. Yeah. So is it something that you check, like, you know, with sponsors to see if their brand meets with what you want the fighter to be known for?
When you say not all money is good money, like how do you mean by that? Because if a fighter's struggling financially,
I get that. I get that, but it's like, like I was watching this old, it's old now. A clip of 50 Cent talking. He goes, he got offered £1 million just to be in the Trump rallies, like, you know, just be in the audience when Trump's giving his speech, running for president. He goes, he's not going to do that because not all money is good money. He goes, it's not worth it.
Yeah, but he's going to say that, isn't he?
Yeah, but you can understand it. Trump's not really, you know, trying to support black people, and then he's in the stand supporting Trump.
50 Cent's got millions and millions. Look, if 50 Cent had no money, and 50 Cent, I don't care what you say, is going to be fucking standing in a Donald Trump rally for £1 million.
Oh no, man.
I
think if he was born in, like, you know, now times and he grew up, like, say if he's in his 20s now, yeah, I could understand it. But I don't think because of his age. I personally think morals and ethics, as time goes on, they get lost.
Yeah,
like, you know, slowly. So I think from the age he's at now, because he's almost 50. So he's like, what, 45 or something? So I don't think he would.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I think the morals will come in.
If he was as an up-and-coming whatever he was, rapper, yeah, if someone offered him £1 million when he had nothing, he's fucking doing it, mate. He was out robbing and that for money, so...
Yeah, but that's different.
You can't.
Maybe that was a bad example, but do you understand what I'm saying? Not every.
No, I get.
Oh, nowadays, right? If I got sponsored, if I had a sponsorship opportunity from Gucci, I would turn it down, because the majority of support I get is from black people. So I couldn't be so disrespectful to say, yeah, but the blackface thing doesn't really count. They're giving me this much money. You know what I mean? I couldn't do it. So not all money is good money. Like, they could offer me $1 million, $2 million, I still wouldn't take it.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get what you're saying, yeah. Like, if one of my lads come to me and said, oh, the Sun, for instance, the Sun newspaper has offered me $1 million, I'd say, I don't have nothing to do with them, do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, I'd say, don't have fucking nothing to do with them, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you got offered $1 million to work with the Sun newspaper and you said don't.
Yeah. I never know, but I mean, if they did, I get what you're saying, because no one in the pool bothers with them, like, but that's just, I don't know.
So no,
It's up
but
to the
isn't this
fighter,
stuff
innit?
like, you know, you check, like, when you see a brand come in, because there's a lot of brands that even ask me and they say they'll see me on Instagram or they'll see me talking to a fighter or whatever, right? And they'll say, oh bro, could you introduce us to him? We want to give him some kit in exchange for promo. And I'm reluctant to do it. I don't really even entertain the thought because I don't know the brands. Like, you'd be surprised how many companies from Pakistan message me and say, hello brother, hope you're well.
Oh,
Like,
I won't be surprised, because I had gym
they won't
page.
give me nothing free, but they want me to buy it. I go, bro, you don't work.
I have someone run the gym Instagram for us, Mick, who comes to gym, and we get fucking hell, mate. Them ones who make kit, I must get 50, 60 a day, them messaging.
Yeah, but you know the worst thing is, they don't even give you trade price, and they're the manufacturers, so they should be giving manufacturer rates. So they're shooting themselves in the foot. It's like a con. Like, trade is normally half of retail, right? Manufacturer rate is normally half of trade. So if your leather gloves are £55, no, say 50 quid, it should be 25. It's £25 if you trade, so it's costing you around £12.50 to make.
Yeah.
So when they're offering it to you at 30 quid, it's like, mate, I'm pretty sure I can get the same with the discount code anyway. I just have to shop around.
Yeah, I know. Mad, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's the thing. So like, I don't want to say any names, because I don't even bother looking into the company, so I'm not to say if they're good or bad. But they'll, like, every time Nasty will put me on his Instagram, or I'm seen, or do anything with someone who has a social media following, or anything to do with a decent fight, straight in like, yo, we like the fighter, we love his story, we want to support him, right? They're not desperate for kid, they don't really care. But again, do you know what I mean? Like, you have to check on the brand, because you don't want one brand that has one set of views and then it makes the fighter look bad because the
Yeah,
fighter's
I
in
get
a
you.
bad position. So
Yeah.
what kind of checks do you do? Any checks for them, like when they
We
approach
gotta-
you?
Yeah, I'll make sure like they're legitimate. If they come to a fighter and they go like, there's a 2-year deal there, blah blah blah. Like CBD companies are all over the place, aren't they?
Yeah.
All over. So I had one kid come, yeah, I'm gonna offer you a fighter, blah blah blah. This amount of money, that amount of money, 2-year deal, blah. They were just full of shit. Do you know what I mean? They done it for 1 month, done all kinds of things, and then they never paid them again. So you have to look at it like that.
But then you need the paperwork there as well. You actually, and then to
After
find a good
time,
contract lawyer is another headache, bro.
After time, that's a load of shite, innit? They go bust, they go. You know what I mean? There's just that many companies popping up now on social media, and then they go, don't they? And it is hard. It's hard, mate. It's hard for the fighters to get sponsorships, proper good sponsorships. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because I know a lot that would say, "Oh, we'll send him some free kit, but we want promotion."
Yeah, that's
As soon as there's like money involved, they pretend they're broke.
yeah,
But you see him driving the newest Merc or Bimmer or whatever.
100%. Mate.
That's what I'm saying. Again, it's not fair on fighters, man. It's like they're treated like cattle. I don't
Yeah,
think it's right.
100%.
So what's next for you? Like, I know you're opening a gym double the size of this. I mean, like, what? 2
Yeah.
stories, 3 stories?
No, it's all one level. Yeah, well, it's upstairs. It's 2 stories, but it's massive. Like, yeah. We've out. I mean, this gym's big. You've had a look around,
Yeah.
haven't you? But we've outgrew this now, so I've got us a new place. We're heating because in the winter in here, mate, it's fucking freezing cold. Which is only over the road. To be fair, it's only a minute walk away. So hopefully be in there in the next 6 weeks. And I'll just keep doing what we're doing, mate.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm shocked because you know what? I'm gonna have to find. You're gonna need to send me the video so I can put it with this, right?
Yeah.
It's massive. Look, it's not even on
12,000.
pre-plaster yet. So how are you gonna do that in 6 weeks?
Mick's going over after here. He said, "Are we going to have the new gym ready in 6 weeks?" He's going over on his own.
It's
now
not
to
e-
do all the-
It's before plastering. Like, okay, yeah, cool. I get exposed brickwork and that, but when you're partitioning stuff, it's not even ready for plaster
Mate,
or
just,
something.
do
Like,
you know what? Just, I'm
if
one of
you do
them,
that in
mate.
6 weeks, you
Yeah,
need a
I'll
world
be in there.
record, man.
Look, 100%. If I'm one of them, if I get something in my head, that's what's happening.
I hope you do it in 6 weeks because that should be a world record, man. That place
I'll
is
tell you what
massive.
I'll tell you what we're gonna do.
You could hold 2 promotions in there, seminar and the class.
What we'll
massive.
do is in 6 weeks come back up and we'll interview in the new gym when it's all ready.
Yeah, we get part 2 or something.
Yeah, part 2.
Yeah, that'd be sick, you know.
So yeah,
Oh.
just keep doing what we're doing. We keep bringing more fighters and keep doing what we're doing. Just keep enjoying it. Just keep the momentum going. Innit?
Alright, so for the people watching, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you if they want to and to stay up to date with the latest from you?
It depends what they want to get in contact for, innit? Like, just in,
That's up to them, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who's watch this
I'm one
and
of
how
them
long.
mates. I'm in the gym and I go home. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, probably Instagram if it's about fighting or it's about like.
So John Gillies on Instagram
yeah.
and Four Corners Gym. You can also go to the website fourcornersgym.co.uk.
Yeah. I have someone who runs all that, but yeah, sparring and stuff like that. Instagram, yeah.
That's fine. What about for the promotion side of it? Because MTK I'm sure it's a big page. I don't follow it. I'm not gonna lie, right? But I don't think all the messages will be seen through there. So even anything to do with fight or the industry as a
I
whole,
have an
Instagram.
email, john.gillies@mtkmma.com. That's my email for.
So do you also work with the boxing side of your own?
No. I coach pro boxers in this gym, but the boxing side, no. I just do the MMA side.
It's more fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
But thanks for having me, man. Thanks for letting me
Anytime,
do this,
mate.
bro.
Anytime.